freezing today, absolutely freezing. I literally took my wife down to our coffee shop. We're in a coffee shop as well, and she was opening up, and literally the floor is like glass. So good morning to you on this 2nd of January. It is the second day of 2026, and I trust yesterday, if you were celebrating or recovering from New Year's Eve, was your downtime. Today is the first day to kind of hit the ground running. And we're going to talk about, for a few minutes today, about January is this month where it can be hit and miss. For you guys watching me later on in the US, the UK really doesn't always come alive again, really. Some would argue till February, but realistically, it's a slow start to the year for many people. But how do you make January the best year you can? Well, I'm going to talk about how to exactly do that, how I've approached it, and my philosophy to January. Now, in my business, January has been one of those yo-yo months. I've had Januaries where we've barely broke even, and I've had Januaries where it's like shot out of the park. And I'm going to explain to you what I do. I approach January assuming it's going to be a tough month. I think if you approach January as thinking it's a tough month, you will put in the work, you will do what's required of you to actually get the results, and then February will benefit from it. So if you're sat here going, January looks a bit of a tough month, this is for you. So I approach January in two ways. The first thing I do is think any opportunity, any clients I'm going to win in January, I've probably already spoken to them. For what you do, is particularly if you're selling high value stuff, so you're not selling, $200 things. If you are approaching January and you're not selling $200 things, you're selling something that's $2, $3, $4, $10, $50, $100,000 or pounds or more, you're going to have to think about, okay, any opportunity I'm going to convert this month has already been spoken to. They're already in your email list. They're already in your network. They are people who already know you. If you approach January as thinking, okay, I'm going to try and drum up new business from complete strangers in January, that's tough. So I think about my pipeline of deals and opportunities for January is already sat in my ecosystem somewhere. So my email list, it's in my past attendees of events, it's in my current pending leads or inquiries, it's people I've had good conversations with. All of my leads, all of my opportunity to turn opportunity into revenue is in my existing leads. Now, that's not to say that you won't have the flukes of people that you didn't know come and reach out to you. Of course you will have that, but you can't control that. So I always look for, okay, I'm looking in my list, I'm looking in my past contacts, I'm looking in my proposals I've already put out. That's what I'm looking for January. Now, that does not mean I'm not focused on getting new opportunities, but my brain is thinking that's where the money is for January. Meanwhile, what I'm doing on the other side is doing the marketing, assuming that all of my marketing activity, all of the stuff I'm doing right now, the webinars, the LinkedIn Lives I'm doing, the one on Tuesday, I think I got a big one on Tuesday. I'm assuming all that forward stuff is for February. And if you think like this, that anything that you want to convert in the next 30 days is already in your ecosystem and has been for a while, and anything for the next 90 days is you got to go get it. And if you think like that, then you will actually do better, because often what happens is people go, oh, January is going to be tough, I must market, and they forget all of these past conversations, all of these past inquiries, all of these people already in their email list. And so what I'm doing is I'm sending a load of value, sent a load of value to my lists, load of value to my contacts, to warm them up, the people I already know and already know me, to get them. I'll be, from Monday, I'll be going through everybody I've spoken to in December, everybody I've spoken to in November, and chatting to them and seeing where they're up to. I'll be going through my email list and seeing who's engaged with more emails than others. I'll be going through past webinar attendees. I'll be going through past workshop attendees. I'll be going through people who've engaged with my content regularly over the last couple of months. I'll be looking at all of the stuff behind me to find my opportunities in January, because it's easier to convert somebody who trusts you than it is to convert somebody who has just met you or barely knows you. So think about that. Who already trusts me? Who already knows me? Go and look in the lists. Go and look in all your past activity and go for those people. It's highly likely, by the way, and I find this, that once you get towards November, that a lot of the people who've made inquiries go quiet. And it's not because they've lost interest. It's because they go, oh, there's so much to do before the end of the year, just park it all. And so people will be picking stuff back up that they've kind of put off. And so now is the perfect time to talk to them. And it could be as simple as just dropping them an email and saying, hey, I know we spoke about this before Christmas. Where are you up to right now? Is this still something you're looking at doing? Just that simple thing of sweeping through past contacts, sweeping through past proposals, all of that stuff is just a no-brainer. Past clients, go and look at them and check in on them and how they're doing. That is your first call in January to do all of that stuff. So I'd be making a note of all the things you're going to do and start planning that's the first thing you do on Monday, if you start back Monday. And on that note, yeah, I would make sure that that's the first activity you do of the day, not the last, because I know how this rolls. Yeah, I know that if you just start chipping in, just walk in on Monday to your office and start going at work, guess what will happen? You'll get to the end of the day and you won't have done all this stuff. Do it first. It's one of my fundamental things. If you want sales and you want to market yourself and you want flow of leads, it's the first thing you do. Everything else after that then is the rest of the business, the client work, the admin, put it all afterwards. Focus on building your business first and then focus on all the other stuff later in the day. I find that works for me because I know if I put it later in the day, my energy levels will fall. I'll be a bit, knackered. The other thing I'll do as well is the events will take their course and I'll end up sucked into something that saps that time. So I would make a list of all the past people, all the past things you're going to do, look through, and then make that Monday morning. That's the first thing you do. Before anything else, you go after that stuff. Now, thinking about onwards and ongoing lead generation, I do a couple of things. So I have newsletters and email lists, and that's my big long-term revenue driver. So the email list is my big long-term revenue driver. Something like 75% of people who've become a client have been through an email or newsletter, so or a LinkedIn event. So a lot of these things I'm doing are for future payoff. And very often in kind of slow months, and hopefully, fingers crossed, January won't be a slow month for you, but in slow months, we neglect those things because we're trying to kind of convert. Do not neglect all of that stuff, because that's what feeds you in February, March, April, May, June, July. So very often people go, oh, I didn't get any leads or inquiries from my emails or my newsletter this week. Maybe I should just park it. No. You've got to think long term. You've got to think long term about that stuff. If you want to get predictability, you have to not see your email list as like, oh, if I send an email today, I'm going to make £10,000. You have to see it as like a long term thing. So you just keep going at it, working at it, learning from it, learn from every email. So I do emails, I do live events, on LinkedIn. I do my newsletters, and that's my engine that I can kind of run. With the lives, I'm not really looking for high volume, but with the emails and the newsletters, it is high volume because I'm talking to many people at once, thousands of people at once. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I approach it. What's the bits that I'm going to do for now, and what's the bit that's going to do future? And the now stuff is all people already know you. Now there is one little tactic you can do. It might not be relevant for everybody watching me, but it is a good tactic you can do. And it's called an easy yes offer. Now I built this into a little course. I think it's like $49 or something. Basically what you do is people, if they don't know you so well, they've not been in your email list for ages, they don't know you like really well, you can create like what we call a land and expand. Yeah. In other words, what you do is you sell something small, help people get a result, and then upsell them from that to your main service offering. Now, global consulting firms do this, small businesses do this. It's just a lot of people don't realize, like they don't join the dots. That, oh, hang on a minute, if I can get somebody to buy this thing for £200 or $200 or something, or $150 or $300, whatever, it's a low value. It's like people can go, yeah, I can take a punt. That's the kind of price point. They will, you can sell that to people who don't know you as well. You can sell that much easier. And then what you do is you talk to those people afterwards and have a follow-up conversation with them and actually propose your main service or offering. And this is a really good thing that you could do in January. Now, are you going to make tons and tons of money off this easy yes offer? No, because I'm not encouraging you to go, oh, let's sell 1,000 of them. It's like you might sell in January 10 of them. Yeah, so you make a couple of grand, say, and you go, oh, that's nice. Don't look at it as, oh, that was a lot of work to sell a couple of grand's worth of stuff. That's what people do. Oh, I sold 10 of them. Obviously, it's not that good. No, it's not the point. The point is those people bought it. They're your leads, in effect. They're your opportunities to upsell. So think about it like that. Maybe one of the things you could do in January is run a little bit of a marketing campaign for your what we call an easy yes offer, a small low value thing that will help somebody. Not because you're going to think, oh, well, that's my income for the month, but it actually opens the doorway to actually sell something bigger. And global consulting firms do this. They will often do a consulting project for a very low fee, almost a loss leader in one sense, to get their foot in the door with a client so that they can get more work. And there's a really well-known, in the UK at least, I think it's well-known, example of this in a company called Viking Direct. Now, if you don't know Viking Direct, they are a stationery company. They supply all sorts of supplies to businesses. And Viking Direct, for many years, used to do this crazy deal where you could buy packs of paper for your printer and they'd sell it you for £1, so like $1.30, which is way cheaper than you can buy in a shop. And there'd be minimum order values and everything. And so what people would do is they would buy 50 reams of this printer paper because it was so cheap. It was crazy cheap. It was just a no-brainer, easy yes. And anyway, so what they did is they would sell all this cheap copier paper, which was in some cases more than 50% cheaper than other paper, for the sole purpose of acquiring a customer so that the customer could basically be set up to buy something else. And to be fair, they had some good deals on, but mainstream, they weren't that cheap for everything else. Don't sue me, Viking Direct. But it's an incredible little strategy of, oh, hang on, if I can get my foot in the door, if I can prove value, I've got the opportunity of selling something else. And it's not just some gimmick, internet marketing gimmick. The big consultancies, global consultancy firms use it. Stationery companies use it. So think about what could you do, what could you sell that is an easy, quick decision for somebody. It's a no-brainer decision to do that will get your foot in the door with somebody who hasn't bought with you. All they need is a small amount of proof of value. And in the comments, I will put the link to the mini course if you want to grab it. But it will help you kind of do that very thing. How do I sell something quickly and efficiently and then use it as an upsell opportunity? So January, just to sum up, January, you either do a land and expand or go through your past conversations, past contacts, all that kind of stuff. And that's where the immediate opportunity is going to be in those land and expand and those people who already know you, you've already spoken to or had some conversations with in some way. That's the fastest and safest place to make January good. But at the same time, think about building your long-term marketing and selling activity. So things like email list, growing an email list, it's slow. If you don't have 1 million followers and you don't go viral, it's slow. But if you capture people with the right intent, in other words, they're joining your list for the right reasons, a reason that aligns with what you sell. Don't just go, oh, I made this mistake. I'll tell you about this in a moment. It has to align with your offer. I made this mistake of a LinkedIn profile checklist. And I did this a few years ago. Oh, we'll do a LinkedIn profile checklist. We get loads of leads from that. But of course, people who download a LinkedIn checklist don't resonate with the problem I solve. It can be a CEO looking to just improve his profile and make it look better. It can be an employee who's looking for a new job. And so we got loads and loads and loads of leads, but struggled to convert them because we weren't growing with a high intent audience. We were just capturing anybody who wanted the asset. A bit like if I did a lead magnet of a content calendar, and I've just literally done one, it won't necessarily help me grow my list with high quality leads, but it was a really good thing to give out to my audience to help them. So, I've just published this to help them, but if somebody downloaded that and signed up for my email list, I don't necessarily know that they want to get more leads, more clients, more conversations from LinkedIn. So every lead magnet you do, every time you grow your list, if you want a high converting list that's actually profitable, you need to think about what's the reason they're coming in to the list? What's the reason they're signing up? Because that must align with what I'm selling. If it doesn't, I will acquire lots of people that don't convert. And this is the same with content as well. When I put out some human stories of my journey or something, people can relate to the journey. But does it mean that they're all leads and will eager to convert? No. If I put out funny memes that make people laugh, I might get more engagement and followers, which is great. But does it mean I've now got more opportunity? Probably not. The reason why somebody follows you, the reason why somebody signs up to your email list, the reason why somebody downloads a lead magnet, the reason why somebody books a call with you has to align with what you offer if you want it to convert. My little rant there. Remember, go through your past activity, your past contacts. That's where your biggest opportunities are in January. An easy yes offer or a land and expand. And if you want the details, I'll put it in the comments after I've wrapped up here. There's a link to, it's called the 7-day client system. It's a way to just get somebody over the line with a small offer quickly. And then think about how you're building your ecosystem that will feed you for the rest of the year. Long-term assets like an email list are massive for you. So look, I'm going to warm up with this brew, which has got, this is my favorite cup, one of my favorite cups at home. Have a great rest of your day. And if this is your last day of the holidays, enjoy it. If it's your first day back, start talking to people, have more conversations, go and talk to the people you've already spoken to.